Hey guys, it's Simeon. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 7th of March, 2021 to talk about everything that went down tonight on this odd night that we call AEW Revolution. And I felt like this was a very weird show. A lot of nothing going on stuff. I was underwhelmed by a lot of things, especially the way this damn show went off the air. And it's just like, what did we watch? I'm going to throw the polls up. I want to know what you guys thought of tonight's show. But hey, we're doing something a little different. We're taking it back to the old school PWU Unlimited podcast. I don't got a co-host for this pay-per-view podcast, this pay-per-view review. So I want you guys to be the co-host. Not only do I want you guys to text into the show, but after we finish recapping the show, also, we're going to take some calls. I want to hear from you guys what you thought of tonight's AEW Dynamite. So you can either text in or call in to the show tonight, 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. I'm going to put the polls up right now. What did you think of tonight's AEW Revolution? Did I say Dynamite? I might have said Dynamite, but I don't know. It's Revolution. What did you guys think of tonight's AEW Revolution? It was, I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. Did I say Dynamite PBB? If I did, I apologize. I meant Revolution. All right. What did you guys think of Revolution? The poll is up on Twitch. Also, remember, guys, if you are watching on Twitch, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, you can help us out a couple of different ways, either by hitting that donate button in the description about section below or with some Twitch bits. Also, you guys can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can subscribe either with a tiered subscription or for free with Amazon Prime, because if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. With Prime Gaming, you get one free subscription to any Twitch channel that you want to support throughout the month, and we would greatly appreciate it if you supported us here at Pro Wrestling Unlimited. All the support you guys give us with the donations, bits, and subscriptions here on Twitch helps us out a lot, as well as on YouTube when you guys give the super chat and super sticker donations, as well as subscribing to the channel as a channel member. To become a channel member, all you have to do is hit that join button down below right next to where it says subscribe, and you can help out the channel. But with that, I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. All right, remember, guys, after the show, after we recap Dynamite, or not Dynamite, why do I keep saying Dynamite? It felt like an elevated episode of Dynamite. After we recap Revolution, then we will be taking your guys' calls. But like I said, I was a little underwhelmed. Let me know what you guys thought, either by text or by call, 510-906-1341. I'll remember to keep spamming it in the live chat because it's not cycling along the bottom. Actually, give me 1 second. That way you guys know the number. I'm going to throw it in here really fast so it goes with these results. So you guys get that. If I can find it. Here we go. All right, the number should scroll along the bottom of the screen periodically, just in case you guys forget. 510-906-1341. Oh, Mojo in the YouTube chat. Trust me, bro, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that for sure. 100% for sure. But with that, guys, we had AEW Revolution tonight, and the show actually started with a match on the buy-in, which is their pre-show. And as far as that show does go, we did have originally Britt Baker and Reba, or Rebel, taking on the team of Thunder Rosa and Riho. Now, if you didn't see it, before the show went on the air, they did a video on social media where Tony Schiavone was going, hey, well, tonight we have this tag team match, and Britt Baker interrupting goes, no. Reba can't compete. She's hurt. She was beat up by Nyla Rose. I've got a doctor's note. I'm a doctor. I know how to do this. Take this to Tony Khan. I need a new partner. And so apparently this match is getting ready to start. And Britt Baker comes out and she goes, Tony Khan wouldn't accept my doctor's note, even though I'm a practicing dentist. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. But what did I do? I was resourceful. I looked across the hall and there was the doctor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was on my side and saying that Reba can't compete. Tony Khan had to let me get a new partner. And she had none other than Maki Ito. Yes, she had Maki Ito. Now, I've only heard great things about Maki Ito and only seen her in the Women's Eliminator Tournament. Outside of that, I didn't know who she was, so I guess I sent out a tweet that was incorrect, saying, why is a babyface teaming with Britt Baker? But apparently she's supposed to be a heel. I don't know. But this match is all right. This is a really good buy-in pre-show match, I felt. They had a ton of time here, which is really good. They gave them a good amount of time. Things got clunky towards the end when Reba tried to get involved, but it's all good. Baker and Riho began the match with back-and-forth exchange. This was actually really solid. Baker hit a kick and a forearm strike. At one point, Rosa and Ito got in and traded holds. The shoulder tackle, they did some shoulder tackle attempts as well. They traded strikes. Iho did some of her trademark spots. Or Ito. I keep saying Iho. It's Ito. And Rosa dropped her face first onto the top turnbuckle to tag in Riho. Riho hit a 619 and Rosa tagged back in. They started doing the quick tag thing with the baby faces. Thunder Rosa puts on a chin lock and Riho jumped back in for a shotgun drop kick, I mean, while Ito was still in the hole. At one point, Britt Baker did get tagged back in after Ito missed a kokeshi, which I guess is her like falling headbutt kind of deal. Again, I don't know much of Maki Ito, so if I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, I really don't. Britt Baker got back in and worked over Riho. Ito got another quick tag as the match began to get more traditional heel versus babyface structure. Then Rosa got tagged in and hit a senton for a 2. Ito made a blind tag and Baker hit a sling blade on her way in. Ito hit a kokeshi for a near fall on Thunder Rosa. She tagged back in. Rosa came back with a stunner. Everyone then jumped in and hit a bunch of moves. Like, just a lot of shit happened. Ito then hit a swinging DDT to Rosa. Ito missed a diving kokeshi off the top rope. Riho tagged in and tried a shining wizard to Ito, but Ito turned it into a single leg crab. That was actually a pretty cool spot. Baker then hit an air raid crash for a 2 on Riho as Rosa made the save. Rosa tagged in and traded cradles with Baker for a good little series here of near falls. Rebel would then jump on the apron and accidentally hit Britt Baker. Rosa hit a DVD on Baker for a 2, and Ito made the save. Riho then hit a dive to Ito with the ref turned around. Rebel then hit Rosa with the crutch, and Baker pinned her to pick up the victory. It was an okay match. I thought the match was fun for the most part, but towards the end, the last 3 minutes of the match really kind of broke down, got a little clunky, and was like, did we really need this finish? Because then, afterwards, all hell breaks loose. Freaking Nyla Rose runs down. No, that was later in the night. Never mind. I'm fast forwarding. But this match ends with the heels picking up the victory, and it makes sense. Maki Ito became a big star to the AEW fan base coming out of that women's tournament, so having her win the match does make a lot of sense. Or her team winning the match makes a lot of sense. So Jim Ross would come out to close the buy-in, and boy, did his voice sound bad. Somebody needs to give this guy a cough drop and some Robitussin. As we move on to the main card. Also, I do want to say, since Saturday in the YouTube chat, or the Twitch chat, says nice hat you are wearing. Thank you. We got PW Unlimited hat. If anybody would be interested in ordering a PW Unlimited hat, hit us up on Twitter at PW Unlimited, and I can get some more made and sent out to you guys if you guys are interested. Going forward, we had the AEW World Tag Team Championship match kicking off the main card. It was the Young Bucks defending against Chris Jericho and MJF. And I thought this was the perfect match based off of what we got tonight to open up this card. Now, I guess I was wrong in my predictions when I said that I thought the Miro match was going on first, because when they were running down the card on Dynamite, Jim Ross said the first match we're going to get of that on the, or he said something about the first match we're going to see at Revolution. And he said the Miro Kip Sabian best friends match. So that's why I thought that was the first match of the night, but I was wrong, and it was fine. I heard Jim Ross say something, took him serious. I guess sometimes Jim Ross doesn't know what he's saying. But this match was the perfect match to open up this show. Like I stated, this match was different than other Young Bucks matches. They did more brawling than normal, and less, I guess you could say, high flying. But it's also because they had different opponents than normal. Like, the FTR guys can lend to more high flying, even though they are a brawler team. Kenny Omega and Hangman, they can do anything. But this is MJF and Jericho. Their whole thing is, they just want to beat you down and be, smarmy heels. But anyways, the Bucks came out firing with punches, really selling this as a blood feud because of what Jericho and MJF did to their father. The Raw fell to the outside of the ring, and the Bucks continued with the early onslaught as Nick hit a 450. Wardlow tripped Matt Jackson on the floor to turn the match around in Jericho and MJF's favor. Matt was cut off for a little bit, but then Nick got the hot tag and ran wild with his trademark spots, his little trademark comeback deal. They did a cool spot where Nick supposedly mistimed a facebuster into a lion tamer. I don't think he mistimed it on purpose. I think it was supposed to look like he mistimed it. And anyways. Matt Jackson got the tag, and he was just, again, house of fire. MJF and Jericho worked him over, though. Jericho hit an interfering Nick with a code breaker, while MJF took the referee. Jericho hit Matt with a baseball bat. MJF hit the heat seeker, but Matt kicked out. Oh, give me 1 second. Never mind. Nick got the hot tag, and the Bucks hit stereo crossbody dives. One on the floor and one in the ring. The Bucks had hit the BTE trigger to Jericho. MJF did make the save before the 3. Nick got the hot tag, and the Bucks hit stereo. Oh, I read that line already. Sorry about that. My dyslexia kicking in, reading the same line over and over. Matt and Nick sent MJF back and forth for super kicks. About 6 altogether. And my first thought was, thank Lord they didn't overemphasize the thigh slap. Because I was so expecting that tonight. With the news coming out that WWE has, quote-unquote, banned thigh slapping, I thought the Young Bucks were going to overemphasize thigh slapping tonight. And if they did, I missed it. If they didn't, and I'm pretty sure they didn't, so good on them. But they still got their WWE jabs in tonight anyways. They hit the 6 or so each super kicks to MJF. They then hit Jericho with the Meltzer driver, and Matt pinned Jericho to retain the championships. In typical AEW fashion, after the first match of the night, the broadcast team runs down the rest of the card for the remainder of the show. Next up, we had the AEW Tag Team Casino Battle Royale. Basically, it was, a Tag Team Royal Rumble match. 15 teams, 2 teams start. Every 92nd, a new team comes out. And they didn't, unlike WWE, and I don't want to compare the two, but unlike WWE, they didn't screw us on the time. They said 90 seconds, and we got 90 seconds. And we knew we got 90 seconds because they had a 90-second countdown clock the entire time on the lower Titantron screen under the big screen. Right where Cody usually walks out. Anyways. Participants, I'm not going to recap this entire match because so much went down that I probably missed half of it, but participants in this match were Phoenix and Pac, Bear Country, who they really put over hard on commentary, the Varsity Blondes, who Jim Ross at one point went, the Hollywood Varsity Blondes, Preston Vance and Alan Angels of the Dark Order, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson of the Dark Order, Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi, Matt Sydal and Mike Sydal, Santana and Ortiz, John Silver and Alex Reynolds of the Dark Order, The Butcher and the Blade, SCU, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, Private Party, Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn, The Natural Nightmares, Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy. So there was a spot during this match where I forget who it was. I think it was the Guns. QT Marshall eliminates the Gun Club. They're part of the Nightmare family. And Dustin gets mad. So QT eliminates himself jumping over the top rope. Dustin starts yelling at him from inside the ring, and QT spits at Dustin. I have no clue what's going on. Commentary played this off like they had no clue what was going on. Is QT out of the Nightmare family? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on Dynamite. We probably won't even get on Dynamite. It's probably be an angle for AEW Dark. But that was the most interesting thing I thought that happened in this entire match. That and Bear Country being put over hella strong by commentary. But the final four teams, actually the final four people in this match were John Silver, Ray Phoenix, Pac, and Jungle Boy. And it got really good here. Silver got tossed by Pac. Jungle Boy and Phoenix tore the house down. Phoenix hit a crazy tope suicida through the ropes, and the referee was like, nope, he's not eliminated. That's top and middle rope. That's going between the ropes. That's not going over the ropes. Like, they made a point to let us know that. And so he jumps back in after landing basically in like the front row. Jungle Boy hits a poison rana, and Phoenix won with a thrust kick and a clothesline over the top rope. Phoenix was the most outstanding guy in this entire match. Him and Pac looked amazing. Jungle Boy looked really good as well. And this Wednesday, this Wednesday, Phoenix does have a match, but in the future, I don't know how far in the future, but some point in the future, we will see Phoenix and Pac challenge the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. I do want to say thank you to Killjoy Army in the Twitch chat for the bit donations. Really do appreciate that. So in the back, Dasha interviews Paul White, and I was a little upset about this. He gave a clue about, who this mystery signee, Hall of Fame worthy guy is, but then we never saw him again. I would have loved it if he came out later on in the night before Christian Cage came out, because all we got was Justin Roberts saying, and the man who's going to sign with AEW tonight, who was Hall of Fame worthy. And then we'll talk about that more when we get to it. But I thought that was a little underwhelming. I thought if Paul White would have came out during that, hyped it up being, hey guys, we got our Hall of Famer, our Hall of Fame worthy guy. He's this, he's that, blah, 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 blah. And then he comes out, the two hug, high five, shake hands. He signs and goes. I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk about it more in a minute. But Dasha interviews Paul White here. He gave a clue. He's going to give another clue on the identity of our mystery person. He says this person will outwork anybody here. And I thought that was Kurt, the wrestling machine. They call him a wrestling machine because he can outwork anybody. That was his gimmick in TNA. Now, saying that Christian can outwork anybody, and that's his shirt, and that's his thing here in Impact or AEW. They can outwork anybody. Okay. I've always heard in the past, Christian is one of the most reliable wrestlers. If you need something specifically done in a match, call on Christian and say, hey, this is what we need. This is what we're going with. Get it done. He never lets you down. Whenever he's asked to do something specific, or, hey, so-and-so, we want to work them in this match, you do it. Make sure they look good. It's always on Christian. I've been told a couple of times by different people in wrestling that either they knew firsthand or had heard from other wrestlers, Christian was one of the most, if not the most reliable guy in pro wrestling, at least within the last 20 years, as far as going out and always doing what he's asked, always doing it at a high level, and always overperforming. But with that, they showed some people in the crowd, Paul Walter Hauser, DDP, Al Snow, even mentioning OVW by name, maybe hinting at a OVW AEW working relationship, which would be interesting. I don't know exactly how that would work. There's not many, if any, real big, well-known names in OVW right now. I know they have Jesse Goddard's. He's a pretty big name who's actually got a little bit of a name outside of wrestling as well because of his big brother and CBS stuff. But we'll see if this goes anywhere. I heard Al Snow was there all weekend. We get a very lengthy video package recapping everything going on with the backstory of Riho and Mizunami, Mizunami almost retiring, AEW bringing her back and her love back from the first Double or Nothing show, and so forth. We did get the AEW Women's World Championship match. Hikaru Shida defending against Rio Mizunami. I think this went a little bit too long. And this is really, when you think about it, towards the end of this match, when this crowd fell out of this show. Like this crowd for Battle Royal and the tag team title match, you can hear this crowd. And I want to speak with somebody that was there. Was this a television issue where in this match we really stopped hearing the majority of the crowd? Or did they really just start losing interest? That's the big question I want to know. So, this match was pretty good. I know these two have history in the past, and they really talked about their history, and not only their history, but the way these two were both trained and brought up in pro wrestling. How Shida was trained more serious and traditional. Shida was trained more to have fun, as Mizunami was trained more traditional. And now Riho's more about traditional and getting the job done, and Mizunami's more about having fun. Like they've swapped roles. Anyways, the match opened with strikes between the two. Shida hit an inverted bastard driver and a superplex for a near fall. Shida hit a Tamashi, but Mizunami kicked out. They traded strikes again, and Mizunami got the best of it. Mizunami hit a Uranagi and a spear. She followed this up with the top rope leg drop for a near fall. They traded strikes and lariats. She hit a Gamangiri, and Mizunami then hit a lariat. Shida went for the Falcon Arrow and two more Tamashi knees before another Falcon Arrow. Only got a 2 off of all of that, though. Mizunami then hit another lariat, and Shida hit another Tamashi. They did a lot of the same stuff in this match, which was very weird. And then this all ended with an eye poke for a near fall. Shida hit another Tamashi, and Mizunami reversed an Enziguri into a pinfall attempt with a crucifix. Mizunami then hit a DDT, but Shida turned it into a Uranagi. Shida then hit yet another Tamashi, like a lot of Tamashis, really putting over that this is her finish because, well, she hit a corkscrew Tamashi to pick up the victory. So Hikaru Shida does successfully retain the AEW Women's World Championship here tonight. After the match, Nyla Rose would run down with Vicky Guerrero. And Nyla Rose went right after Shida and Mizunami. Shida traded a little bit with Nyla Rose trying to make the save, but then Britt Baker, Rebel, and Ito would all run down. This would then lead to Thunder Rosa coming out and helping clear house. We then learned later on in the night that these 6 women will do battle on AEW Dynamite. We will see the team of, give me 1 second, Shida, Mizunami, and Thunder Rosa against Reba, or Rebel, Britt Baker, and Maki Ito. And I love when they announced it. Tony Schiavone goes, oh, I think it was Tony. No, it may have been Excalibur. Goes, oh, well, Rebel's not as hurt as we thought she was. Yes, Vegeta Lover 92 in the YouTube chat. I felt that this match was kind of repetitive. Next up, we did get the announcement that AEW Double or Nothing will be coming to us on Sunday, May 30th. Yes, another Sunday pay-per-view, and it will be taking place from Jacksonville, Florida. So, like I said, that match was repetitive, and because of the repetitive nature of it, I felt like that started to take the crowd out a little bit. And the crowd really fell out of it during this next match. So we're in the back, and they sent it to Alex Marvez, and he's talking with Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy backstage. He's wanting an interview when Miro and Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford would run in and attack. Sabian and Miro would attack Cassidy and Taylor before Miro said, "Play my music," and he drug Chuck Taylor out to the ring. Miro threw him into the ring, and he's like, "This is what you want, Charles. Charles, I told you, all you need to do is tell me you don't want this anymore, and we don't have to do this." And he's already bleeding, Chuck Taylor, that is. And he looks at the referee and goes, "Hey, Ring the damn bell. Well, this match begins as a handicap match. This is more of a quote-unquote angle than a match, I felt. And I don't know why this needed to take place on the goddamn pay-per-view. Sabian and Miro worked over Chuck Taylor for a while, and Cassidy was nowhere to be seen. After Chuck Taylor was getting his ass beat trying to fight back, Orange Cassidy would limp out, selling his back. He managed an orange punch to Miro on the ramp, and then Orange and Taylor hit the best friends version of the Strong Zero for a 2 count on Sabian as Miro made the save. Penelope Ford then took the referee, and Miro hit a low blow on Orange. Orange hit a stun dog millionaire like a counter and another orange punch. Penelope jumped on the apron for another distraction, and Miro bumped Orange into Ford by mistake. Taylor and Miro got tags. Miro hit a pump kick and the game over submission for the victory. I don't know what this is supposed to be. After the match, Kip Sabian got mad that Miro bumped Penelope off the apron, and Miro looked like he was about to kill Kip and then didn't do anything. Very underwhelming. Didn't need this on the pay-per-view. Especially a pay-per-view doing almost 4 hours. Like 3 hours and 45 minutes. Actually, let me see if I can get I didn't get the times for this. Revolution. Probably get the times for this, though. Match times. So, the first match, the tag team match on the pre-show, went 14 minutes, 50 seconds. The Young Bucks tag title match went 17 minutes, 50 seconds. Battle Royal went 26 minutes, 45 seconds. The women's title match went 15 minutes, 10 seconds. This damn Best Friends deal, Best Friends and Miro and Kip Sabian, went 7 minutes and 50 seconds, way longer than it needed. And then we move on to the big money match. Hangman Page versus Big Money Matt Hardy in a 14.5-minute match. But before that, we had a segment with the Inner Circle. Marvez asked Jericho about them failing to win the tag titles, and Jericho goes, "Excuse me? Failing? We didn't fail." The Inner Circle's just a little underpowered right now. There was no Sammy, which we know Sammy's not part of the Inner Circle anymore, from what we're supposed to believe. And there was no Jake Hager. Don't know why Jake's not there. I know recently I heard that he was starting training camp for his next fight, but I don't know if that's why he wasn't there or not. But Jericho said to MJF, some things need to happen in the Inner Circle. And MJF agreed. They bumped fist, and we learned that a change may be made this Wednesday, which we will be getting. What did they call this? They called this we will be getting the Inner Circle War Council. The Inner Circle War Council this Wednesday on AEW Dynamite. Also, we will see a match on Dynamite. It's Matt Jackson versus Rey Fenix. Kind of like a preview before the tag title match. So, going forward, we had the big money match. Hangman Page and Matt Hardy. And this was a WWE match if AEW's ever done one. Very overbooked. Too much bullshit happening. And I never once got into this match. I think it went way too long at 14.5 minutes. The only thing they did right was Hangman won. Hardy tried some strikes early, but Page gained the advantage with punches in the corner. They brawled to the outside, and Hardy posted Page's right hand. Hardy started working over the arm, trying to dispatch the arm so Page couldn't go for the buckshot lariat. And Hardy even bit the fingers of Hangman Page. Hardy trapped Page's hand between the ring steps and the ramp and kicked the steps. Hardy continued working over that hand and the arm, and Private Party ran out to provide a distraction for Hardy. Page came back with a clothesline, and he went for a buckshot lariat, but Hardy turned it into a side effect for a close near fall. As both members of the Dark Order kept jumping up on the apron to distract Hangman, or not Dark Order, Private Party, Dark Order finally ran out. Dark Order would run off Private Party, and then at one point, Matt Hardy knocked Page out of the ring, so everybody in Dark Order had to catch him and pop him back up on the apron. Right position to go for the buckshot, hits the buckshot lariat, and picks up the victory. Hangman Page wins. Dark Order jumps in the ring, Colt Cabana hands out a couple beers, and fucking Excalibur has to say it. Oh, what are they drinking? Some Hangman Weiser? What is he supposed to be? Stone Cold Steve Austin? No. I didn't think the match was horrible, but it was too overbooked. It started off all right, and then the whole stuff towards the end, Mark Quinn jumps up on the apron to distract. Then Isaiah Cassidy jumps on the apron to distract. And here's the Dark Order running everybody off. And then Hangman gets knocked out of the ring, but whoa! He gets caught by Dark Order, who pops him right back up. Perfect position to flip over the top rope, hit the buckshot lariat, and win. I thought it was just a little too much, like a overbooked WWE match, in my opinion. You know how we see WWE matches where just too much bullshit and crap happens? I thought that's what this was. All the interference and all the outside people were not needed. Could have just had a really good, solid Matt Hardy versus Hangman Page match. Next up, we had the face of the Revolution ladder match. Going into the night, we knew in this ladder match was Cody Rhodes, Scorpio Sky, Penta El Zero M, Lance Archer, and Max Caster. And what we didn't know is who that sixth man would be. Now, I predicted that it would be Ethan Page, and that's who it was. It was all ego Ethan Page. Ethan Page would make his way out to the ring as Excalibur would yell, "All ego Ethan Page is all elite." AEW would then shortly confirm that on their Twitter account, stating that Ethan Page is all elite and has signed with AEW. That's great to see. I know WWE was interested in Ethan Page. I don't know how far the interest went as far as if the two sides ever talked or anything, but I heard that they were very interested in bringing him in to work NXT. But ultimately, he did sign with AEW here. He did state after he let his Impact contract go, hey, I'm going to take a much-needed vacation before I decide my next move. A much-needed little break from pro wrestling. And taking 2 full months off-ish. Never hurt anybody. Who knows? Maybe on January 1st, he signed a contract with AEW and said, hey, let me take a couple months. Maybe I come back. I don't know how it all went, but I could honestly see it being, he signs with the company, says, let me take a couple months. Tony Khan says, don't worry, I want you to come in the pay-per-view anyways. It's a surprise. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. The big story of this match not was that Scorpio Sky won. No, it was that Cody defied the odds, got hurt, disobeyed the doctor's orders, and still valiantly fought as hard as he could in this match. Because even though Cody wasn't winning, we still had to make most of this all about Cody. How about we call Cody All Ego Cody Rhodes? Because I've heard from people that have been at AEW tapings, as backstage, this man loves himself. Maybe a little too much. Anyways, the big spot early was a Penta and a Sling Blade on Archer, then a Page powerbomb on Scorpio Sky on a ladder, and then Archer sandwiched in that ladder, and then Penta gave Cody a destroyer on a ladder bridge that kind of took Cody out of the match. But we knew Cody was never going to leave the match. We knew Cody was always going to come back because they fucked it all up. Instead of just taking Cody to the back and then him running out later, it brought him to like the entrance tunnel, and they just kept standing there. And commentary kept saying, "Oh, Cody's been taken out of this match, but it looks like he doesn't want to leave. They're still at the entrance tunnel, and I don't know what's going to go on." And blah, 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 blah. And to be honest, all you're doing is you're watching the match, but you keep looking up going, well, Cody's still there. Okay, Cody's still there. Okay, Cody's still there. Oh, that was a cool spot. Cody's still there. You know? It's like, fuck. It took me out of the match just a tiny bit. Always being like, here comes Cody. Nope, not yet. He popped out of the tunnel a little bit. Nope, he went back into the tunnel. He popped out of the tunnel. They could have done without this. This was not needed. We didn't need the whole Cody got hurt, but he's going to fight through it, even though the doctors and Arn told him not to. Another big spot in this match included a crossroads from Cody, a frog splash off the ladder by Scorpio Sky, and a big elbow drop off the ladder by Max Caster, and a power bomb. Actually, not just a power bomb, but a razor's edge by Ethan Page to the big boy, Lance Archer. After Page powerbombs Archer, Jake Roberts would run into the ring and short arm clothesline Ethan Page. And this is when the pop came from the crowd. The crowd was dead for the last 2-3 matches, but then Jake gets involved and the crowd goes, yeah, Jake Roberts! Woohoo, the snake! So that got a little pop. Then Cody hit a top rope cutter, and they said, oh, that may have been the worst Cody cutter we've ever seen, as he hit it on Penta on a ladder. Penta then hit Cody with a steel chair as he was trying to climb the ladder. One point, Scorpio Sky hit Penta with a chair. Cody jumped back up and climbed the ladder with Sky. The two were trying to go after the brass ring. I didn't even talk about that bullshit. There was a legit Homer Simpson-sized brass ring. Like, you know, in Simpsons, when Homer fantasizes over donuts and he's got the big, oversized fantasy donut? That's what this fucker looked like, but it was a brass ring. If that's not a shot at Vince McMahon, I don't know what is. Anyways, Scorpio Sky punched Cody off the ladder, stood there for a minute looking up, going, oh my fucking God, I'm going to get this thing and win. Unhooks the brass ring, pulls it down, and earns himself a shot at the TNT title this coming Wednesday against Darby Allin on Dynamite. I thought this was a fun ladder match, but I was taken out of some of the action with the whole Cody, is he coming back? Is he not? When's he coming back? He's coming back. When is he coming back? I know he's coming back, but how long until he comes back in this match? He's still up at the top of the ramp. He's still standing there, you know? It's a little much. I'd almost call it overbooked. As I said, now it kind of looking like a Sonic Hedgehog power coin to me. I can get where people said that. Those are more gold and smaller, not as fat and round. I thought it was one of those Homer Simpson had a fantasy about a big fat donut kind of size deal. And then next, Justin Roberts makes the introduction. Jim Ross says, we're going to send it down to the Dapper Yapper for our big mystery signee. Justin Roberts says, and now, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the man that will be signing a contract, a Hall of Fame worthy wrestler, here tonight on AEW Revolution. Go silent for a moment, and then we see the countdown on the screen. 10, 9. We don't hear it, but we see the countdown, and we hear the music. And it's none other than Christian Cage using his goddamn TNA theme song and bits from his TNA Titantron. So, if you guys remember, when Christian used to be in TNA, he went by the name Christian Cage. That was actually the name he went by before he was in WWE. Anyways, always when Christian Cage came out, his Titantron would pop up on the screen, and we'd get that countdown, 10, 9, 8, as his music's playing. And then the music would hit after the countdown, and out would come Captain Charisma, Christian Cage. He did the thing, looked off into the crowd, and he walks over to a podium. In the podium was his AEW contract. He walks into the ring, signs it, opens his shirt to reveal, well, I've got an AEW shirt, because that's what everybody does when they first appear in AEW, except for Ethan Page didn't do it. He didn't show off his AEW shirt, which we did see later on Twitter, but he showed off his AEW shirt that says, out.work.everyone. That's his new catchphrase. Christian Cage, outwork everyone. And we'll see how much he can outwork everyone, because we saw him in the Royal Rumble, but other than that, we haven't seen him do Jack Diddley in 6 years. Now, I know you're going to say, what about his match with Randy Orton last year? That wasn't a fucking match. Anyways, Christian Cage has signed with All Elite Wrestling. Christian Cage is All Elite. Is it a needle mover? I don't know. I think it's really cool. And if he can be TNA Christian Cage, fuck yeah. When he was in Total Nonstop Action, he was my favorite wrestler in the freaking world. I loved Christian Cage when I was in high school. I thought he was the coolest wrestler. I don't know how many other people would say that, but I thought he was the coolest wrestler. Just NWA World Champion all day, every day. Christian Cage is the NWA World Champion. Hell yeah. Loved it. So I'm a little iffy on this. I hope he's, every bit of what he was in TNA. but we don't know what he can do. Yes, we saw him do stuff in the Royal Rumble, but in the Royal Rumble, you get breaks. You're limited in what you could do because, the camera's, or not even just what you could do, but what we see you do, because the camera's not always on you in the Royal Rumble. I honestly thought he would stay with WWE. Edge wouldn't win the match at WrestleMania. We get Edge and Christian together. Maybe they win the SmackDown or Raw tag titles. Now that ain't going to happen. I was sent a message tonight by somebody in WWE that literally said, as far as Christian goes, WWE tried. All I was told. As far as Christian goes, WWE tried. So, we'll see. We'll see. And here's the other thing. Just to wrap this bow on it. They didn't even tell us when we're going to see him again. They didn't say, which would have been a perfect thing to do. This Wednesday, Christian Cage speaks for the first time, like they did last week. This Wednesday, Paul White speaks for the first time in AEW. They didn't even say, this Wednesday, Christian Cage speaks for the first time. Now, Dan the Man says Christian Cage will be the next AEW World Champion. I'm calling it now. No, I wouldn't do it. Maybe you let him challenge for the TNT title. I don't want him beating Kenny Omega. I don't want some old, and I don't want to call Christian an old timer, but he is. This old timer who just came back from being retired, medically unable to get cleared for 6 years, come in and beat the world champion. You can't take that title off. They've built up Kenny Omega so big that he ain't going to lose that title till at least All Out, and that might be even too soon. I don't think Kenny Omega should lose the title in 2020. It's like what I say with Roman Reigns. He should, in 2021. It's like I say with Roman Reigns. He probably shouldn't lose that title at all this year. I think Kenny Omega is, and I used to say Jericho was a great heel champion for AEW. Kenny Omega with Don Callis, with the Good Brothers. That's a perfect act at the top. Next up, we had the street fight. Cinematic street fight. Sting and Darby Allin taking on Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. And unfortunately, couldn't really get too much into this match because there's fucking commentary. Why did we need commentary? I didn't think we needed commentary whatsoever for this match. But hey, there were some cool spots in this match. Starts off, we see Ricky Starks walking. And he gets in to what I think is like a Lamborghini. I wasn't paying too much attention at that point. I was trying to put stuff together about the Christian debut. But he gets into this car. Got some cool shots of like a drone shot going into the car. Then the drone zoops past Cage in the driver's seat, spins around, and we see the car drive off. And commentary goes, so where's this match actually taking place? They say this is an undisclosed location. Taz, can you give us any info? And Taz is like, I don't know. Yet he sent his son and Powerhouse Hobbs here. Like, fucking Ricky Starks and Cage didn't tell him where this was supposed to be taking place. Taz played it off like he didn't know. So they get to this building, and there's an old ring in the building. It's the same building where, I believe, where Sting and Darby Allin did their Hoodlums promo. That was the stupidest fucking thing. I'm a hoodlum, you're a hoodlum, we're all hoodlums! Anyways, they're in this ring, and all of a sudden, we see Darby Allin skateboarding. We see freaking Sting driving down the streets of Jacksonville in a Toyota Tacoma. And Taz goes, oh, where'd Sting get that beat up old truck? Beat up old truck? That looked no older than like a 07, 08 Toyota Tacoma. That ain't an old beat up truck. Whatever. And it was all black and white at this point right now. The Darby Sting intro stuff was all in black and white. So eventually, Darby's riding his skateboard and Sting passes him in the truck. Darby grabs the back of the skateboard. We're sketching. We're sketching like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Finally, they get to the building. Sting gets out of the truck. He and Darby walk in, and there's a bunch of men in masks and robes. They're wearing Sting masks. And I think it was Excalibur goes, oh, those are the hoodlums. Here was Darby Allin and Sting. I'm like, oh, Lord. So Darby Allin and Sting get in the ring, and Taz goes, well, this ain't fair. It's like 20 on 2. And Tony Schiavone has to go, well, it's never fair when you're up against Team Taz. They always have the advantage. And I'm just like, Lord, if these fucking hoodlums get involved, I'm done. And so the hoodlums surround the ring and they start beating the ring. And they're beating down the ring or whatever. And the match begins. And all four men start fighting. Cage and Allen were fighting. Sting and Starks left the ring and brawled around the building, I guess you can call it. Sting threw his bat after Starks said, "You're nothing without your bat, Sting. You're nothing without that bat. You need that bat because you can't do anything anymore." So he throws down the bat, goes after Ricky Starks. Sting walked off to find Cage, though, and Allen after he beat down Ricky Starks just a little bit. Cage and Allen were fighting in a stairwell. Cage lifted Allen in a vertical suplex position. Literally, deadlift suplex position, and just walked up the stairs like fucking Brian Cage. This man, hella strong. I know people locally here that trained with him when he first got into like the bodybuilding stuff before he got really got into wrestling. I was always told, bro, Brian Cage, even back then in like 2014, 15, or even earlier than that, actually, maybe like 2011. Strong motherfucker. Even back then. And he's only getting stronger. Anyways, where was I? Cage walking up the stairwell. Cage then drops Allen on a trash can. Sting saves him. Allen hit a shotgun dropkick into a ladder. Starks speared Allen into a wall. And Sting used a fire extinguisher on Cage as Allen hit a suplex to Cage. Starks took out Sting with a 2x4. And Starks missed a spear into a column. Allen hit a coffin drop off the column. A masked man ran in, wearing an orange mask, and of course we know who this is. Fucking Powerhouse Hobbs. Hobbs ran in, grabbed Darby Allin, took him down, and I'm like, why the fuck did he need to wear a mask? Took the mask off 10 seconds after he popped in. Cage at one point, Hook ran down also to jump on Darby. Cage shoved Sting to the ground, and Team Taz went 3-on-1 against Darby. Cage and Hobbs tossed Allen through a panel of glass, and this is stupid. Darby don't fuck care about his body. They did the thing where Cage grabs his legs, Powerhouse Hobbs grabs his arms, and they're swinging him back and forth. They pop him up, and they launch him through this glass window, and he just crashes into a goddamn brick wall. And the way they throw him, he can't control this bump. So he just poof right into this brick wall, falls down, glass all over him. I'm like, God, this man. Like, okay, enough. We've seen enough of these Darby Allin daredevil stunt spots. It's like, it takes me out of it now. Like, we've seen enough of it. It's like every time he wants to try and up it, do something cool, but don't do something to me that makes it look like for me, that makes it look like, oh my God, you're just trying to kill yourself again and again and again and again and again. Anyways. Team Taz started stalking Sting. Brian Cage hit Sting from behind with a shovel. One of those plastic snowplow shovels. Allen then appears in some window up top. Like, he's perfectly fine. He's like, Sting! He's got the bat. And he throws it down to Sting, and Sting grabs the bat and dispatches everybody in Team Taz. He then takes Cage. I think he hits him with a shovel, and he throws him on this, like, wood planks. These wood planks above this, like, empty area. I don't even know how to kind of explain it. You can tell it's set up as a crash pad under it, because Darby Allin jumps out of this window, like, I don't even fucking know, 20 feet up, 20 feet up, if not higher. Elbow drop on Brian Cage right through the wood panels. Sting and Starks then went back and forth in the ring. Sting missed a splash, and Starks hit a spear for a 2. Starks then hit a low blow, and Sting reversed a power bomb into a sunset flip for a near fall. Sting followed this up with a Scorpion Death Drop and pinned Ricky Starks to pick up the victory. So with that, Sting and Darby Allin win the street fight. Like I said, fun match, some cool spots, some overdone spots, and the commentary I just didn't like. Because there were some times where they're saying stuff, and I'm just like, well, why would you say that? What? Huh? That doesn't make any sense. So we get all the announcements that we've talked to throughout this for Wednesday's Dynamite. Matt Jackson versus Rey Fenix. Britt Baker, Rebel, and Maki Ito against Thunder Rosa, Hikaru Shida, and Ryumi Zanami. Darby Allin versus Scorpio Sky for the title. And the Inner Circle War Council. And then it's time for our main event. It is the AEW World Championship on the line in an exploding barbed wire death match. Haven't seen many exploding barbed wire death matches, but I've seen a few. And this, probably the worst one of all. So, they come out to the ring. The ring surrounded with a lot of barbed wire. So, the ropes where the ramp is, no barbed wire. And they explained that, saying, why is one side of the ring with no barbed wire? Well, just in case our doctors and Doc Samson and EMTs need to run in to check on anybody, this will allow them a way to do so safely. We got the ropes all wrapped up in barbed wire. We got boards, or as they call them, tables with barbed wire on them in the corners. We had on 2 or 3 sides of the ring these wooden panels with barbed wire on them, and apparently mortar rounds, or what did they call them? I think they said explosives under them. I can't remember exactly what they call them. Claymores, kind of. Under them. And so Moxley comes out first. Kenny Omega comes out second. The match begins. And of course, they're going to take it slow at the beginning. You got to be timid. You don't want to bump into the ropes and the ropes explode. So we get some timid brawling early. At one point, Moxley gets thrown into the ropes and he slides to avoid hitting the ropes. So no explosions go off. And they tell us, in 30 minutes, any explosive that has not gone off will go off. But we don't know how many that's supposed to be. Because you would think you hit the ropes once, that explosive goes off, it's over. There were some times when they hit a side of the ring multiple times and there were multiple explosions. We were supposed to not know how many explosives were going to go off. Also, on the ramp, there was a trash can full of weapons as well. So, we're going. And these guys are trying to avoid running into the ropes. Omega runs one point and goes, whoa! Eventually, Moxley is the first to get thrown into the explosive barbed wire ropes. And my first thought was, this place is going to be smoke everywhere. If you watch a Japanese death match with exploding ropes, they explode so much that the wrestlers in the ring disappear when the explosion goes off. But no. Say my 3 fingers of the ropes, and this side is the ring. Well, when they hit, the explosive just out this way, out of the ring. And it's like 3 explosives, and it kind of just smoke poofs, and a couple little like sparkles go off. And I'm like, this is it? This is what you call a PG version of this match, or a low-end PG-13. So again, Omega sends Moxley into the ropes for the first explosion. Omega got whipped into the ropes 2 times in a row for 2 explosions. And Moxley had a shotgun dropkick on Omega at one point as well. Both went through the barbed wire boards. Moxley was bleeding from the forehead pretty bad at like 3 or 4 minutes into this match. And this match actually went 25 minutes. So Omega mixed in some wrestling and some brawling. He hit a moonsault at one point, a Guitar Crusher on a trash can, and a one-winged angel attempt. Moxley popped up after 2 Snapdragon suplexes and hit a side slam on a chair. Moxley wrapped barbed wire around his arm and tried a bulldog choke with the barbed wire. They fought on the apron, and Moxley hit a paradigm shift off the apron through the explosive barbed wire boards on the floor. Omega at this point was bleeding. Ominous countdown started to go off, because they told us at one point, 20 minutes left before everything explodes. And then all of a sudden, we hear, and the commentator's like, what is that? Or is that to signify there's only 10 minutes left until everything goes off? Don Callis goes, oh, don't worry, you'll know. And then it's at this point, when Excalibur proceeds to tell us, the wrestlers will not be given a warning or a countdown right before everything explodes, we will hear a noise as like a warning sign, and then it will just happen. Remember that. Excalibur told us no countdown will happen before this explodes. So Moxley fires up as they explode at ringside, or poof, at ringside. He goes for a near fall and gets a 2 out of it. Omega at one point hit a low blow, then stacked Moxley up with the power bomb for a 2. Omega hits a one-winged angel, but Moxley technically is the first person ever to kick out of a one-winged angel, but they play it off as Moxley didn't kick out. He got his foot on the ropes. The explosion went off, and that caused Omega to have to break the hold. Yeah, okay. He broke the pinfall. He didn't actually kick out of a one-winged angel. So they're still trying to protect that move, which if that's the case, don't do the fucking spot. Could have just been a V-trigger. Or maybe a paradigm shift from Omega. So Moxley then grabs a barbed wire bat as Gallows and Anderson run down to the ring. Both took shots with the bat from Moxley. Moxley grabbed the barbed wire bat. As Gallows and Anderson run down, both took shots from the barbed wire bat before their punishment. They handed Omega an exploding barbed wire bat of his own. He hit Moxley with it, and we get another poof off of this bat. It wasn't an explosion, just a poof, like they had some sort of like a powder pack in it that poofed. He only gets a 2 count off of that. This fucker gets hit in the face with the barbed wire bat that exploded and only a 2 count. You fucking kidding me? Omega then eventually hits a one-winged angel on a chair. Moxley couldn't make the ropes this time, and Omega picks up the victory. And this is where this show fell off the fucking rails. Gallows and Anderson give Omega some handcuffs, and they handcuff Moxley's hands behind his back and beat him down a little bit as a 1-minute countdown clock begins on the screen. Hey, Excalibur! What happened to your no countdown warning? We'll hear a noise as a little quick warning before it goes off. So Moxley's dead in the middle of the ring, handcuffed, hands behind his back. Don Callis runs down, and he's like, Kenny, we gotta go. Gallows, we gotta get out of this ring before it explodes. We gotta go. And so Omega and the Good Brothers get going. Don runs back over to the commentary table. He's like, you guys may want to leave. And as the countdown is counting down on the screen, they start clearing out ringside. Bryce Remsburg, who's wearing a hazmat suit, runs off. And everybody at ringside, who they say had to have fire protective clothes with, I don't even fucking know, runs off. And so Eddie Kingston runs out with the Butcher. I didn't see the Blade. He may have been out there. And the Bunny. And Omega and the Good Brothers try to stop him before he jumps in the ring. And he's like, Mox, you wake up. Mox, wake up. Come on, Mox, wake up. And the countdown starts going 4, 3, 2. So Eddie just puts himself over Moxley's body. And you would think Gillberg was coming out because we got sparklers going off. You would have thought fucking Gillberg was coming out. This is like when Gillberg would do the fake Goldberg entrance with the sparklers. We got sparkles from all 4 corners, a little bit more powder smoke, and Eddie Kingston plays this off like he's dead. Doc Sampson runs down. Referee Bryce Remsburg runs in. They're checking on Eddie Kingston. They roll him off of Moxley because he's not moving. Like, this goes off, and he's like not moving. Moxley's selling it like he's dead. Fucking Eddie Kingston's selling it like he's fucking dead. Everyone's checking on him, doctors and the referee, and they're like, oh my God, what has happened here? John Moxley's not moving. Eddie Kingston has sacrificed himself for John Moxley. These two may have had their issues in the past, but the well-being of John Moxley meant more to Eddie Kingston than any issues these two may have had. Fucking Cody and the Young Bucks had more pyro, more explosions when they entered the ring tonight than this fucking bang we were supposed to get with all the explosions going off at the end of this 30 minutes. First off, I thought the match would go at least 30 minutes. But this was fucking the worst way the show could have gone off the air. And the sparklers start going off and the crowd starts booing. Boo! Boo! The fucking crowd booed something AEW did, not like booing a heel. They booed something because they didn't fucking like it. This was the dirt worst. This was the worst thing that AEW has ever done. Just say it right now. The show itself was decent at best. I thought this was like on the levels of an elevated Dynamite. Fighter Fest, Fight for the Fallen. Winter is here. I'm glad I didn't pay $50. I bootlegged this show. I would have been pissed if I paid $50. Fuck. Just fuck is all I have to say. Especially about that finish. And for a lot of this show, I was very, very underwhelmed by this show. Now I want to know what you guys thought. I want to know what you guys thought of tonight's AEW Revolution pay-per-view. And you can tell me a couple of different ways, either by texting or calling, because I want to get some of your calls as well. I want to hear what you guys have to say. 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. We'll do the text messages first. Oh, wait, nope. Got a call coming in. Let's get this call going. Caller, you're on the air. What did you think of tonight's Revolution pay-per-view? Pardon? Say it again.
It was a waste of 50. It was 50. It was not worth $50.
No, I would agree.
Yeah. I really wanted a refund, but that didn't work out, so it felt like a regular episode of Dynamite.
Right, like I said, it felt like one of those like special episodes of Dynamite. It felt special, but not pay-per-view special.
Right. It didn't live up to its hype.
Exactly, didn't live up to the hype, correct. I would 100% agree with you on that.
Yep.
With that, thanks for the call, and have a great night.
Yeah, you too, bye.
All right, so as we wait for more calls to come in, we'll read some of the text messages. This person said, the ending of the show was the most pathetic ending to a pay-per-view ever. Do you agree? I don't know if I'd have to really think about that, but it may have been, because that was so anticlimactic. And with the crowd booing it and everything, not booing because Kenny Omega retained the title over Moxley or anything, booing it because they weren't happy with what they saw. Person says, really interested to hear why Christian didn't sign with WWE. Kind of thought Edge being signed would have favored a WWE trying to sign him. Again, like I said, I was told nothing more than WWE tried. But with that, we got another call coming in. Let's check this one out. Caller, you're on the air. What did you think of tonight's AEW Revolution? And never mind. That call dropped off. Next text message here says, AEW just overhyped a debut and a match. Christian Cage is good, but not a needle mover in the main event. What was that? At the very least, if you're dissatisfied with WWE, now you can watch The Office instead for only $5. We were always able to watch The Office on Peacock for $5. I don't know what that has to do with AEW or anything. I mean, cool. Get this text. We got another call coming in. Caller, you're on the air. What did you think of tonight's AEW Revolution?
Overall, the rest of the matches were very good. The Hangman, Adam Page, and Matt Hardy match was very good. Very good storyline. The main event really, really sucked because I thought it would have been a very good barbed wire explosion death match. It should have been 30 minutes, and it felt like it was not very good. Bad investment. I hope AEW can learn a lesson at this pay-per-view and for the fans, because I thought it was going to be all hyped up like in past barbed wire death matches from back in the day, but it was like very terrible. So, I hope AEW learns a lesson. I know it's gonna be. I know it's gonna suck for AEW fans, but hopefully AEW can pull themselves back up, and hopefully they can move forward. Because now what they're gonna try to do is hopefully they can try to make something good out of it. Hopefully in the near future.
I fully agree that Tony Khan is going to take this as a learning moment and be like, hey, that didn't work. We're not doing stuff like that again.
Yeah, and this is a life lesson experience for Tony Khan, right?
Right, and you got to think, he's only been doing this for what, 2 years now? There's going to be some duds. There's duds in every wrestling promotion, but this one was just hyped up so much that I really felt like it was going to be better than it was.
Yeah, but hopefully, John Moxley's going to be out, so Kenny Omega is still the champ. So I want to know who's going to be the next guy in line. A lot of people say Christian Cage is going to come to AEW. They said Kurt Angle.
No, Christian Cage signed his contract on the pay-per-view tonight.
Oh wow!
Did you not?
I'm shocked.
Yeah,
I'm very shocked. But I thought it was going to be Kurt Angle.
Nope.
You know what? Dark Horse would have been Carlito since Carlito actually left the WWE. He's not there no more. Imagine if Carlito would have been in AEW. That would be very good for Hispanic viewers.
Yes, but that would have been even more of a letdown than Christian Cage. I'm not saying Christian Cage was a complete letdown, but Carlito signing would have just been like, oh, hey, they got a guy.
Well, yeah, but hopefully AEW won't be like the TNA of in the 2000s when
it's
they
getting
had
that way. I mean,
I hope here's a lesson for Tony Khan. Do this once, and if you don't like the product, don't ever do it again. You're not like WWE who does it a little bit much more successful. Tony Khan, you got a long way to go.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years in the near future, hopefully you bring back the barbed wire death match. Maybe much more better. Hopefully, maybe not.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Again, like you're saying that hopefully they don't turn into TNA. I mean, they're doing everything TNA did. They said at first, we don't want to sign just anybody that came from WWE. Yeah, that's what TNA did, and that's now what they're doing. Guys that WWE didn't want to use anymore, now they're using. So we'll see how it all goes. I want to say thank you for the call, and have a great night.
And thank you too, everybody. Thank you so much.
All right. Let's check this next text message. This one says, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but if you look on the WWE website, Ronda Rousey is now on the alumni section. I'll have to check that out. I know her contract is technically not supposed to expire till April 10th. But they could have moved her to the alumni section since she wasn't drafted. Just saying. Let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. What'd you think of tonight's AEW Revolution show?
Yeah, I'm watching your show right now. Yeah, AEW tonight. I do a talk show myself.
Okay.
And just got done doing my show, and I just have to say that I think AEW is going down the road that WCW did by signing all these old WWE talents, and and they're in the midst of starting up a second show, and then they're going to have a third show on network television, and I think they just really need to learn from WCW's mistakes.
Well, technically, not to cut you off, but they're going to have 4 shows. They're going to have 2 YouTube shows and 2 network TV shows. So that'll be 4 shows total.
Yeah, and I mean, look what WCW did. They started that second show, Thunder, and it was used to get Bret Hart over, and it just went down the tubes. I think. I mean, let's call it as it is. Like, Tony Khan winning Best Booker of the Year, well, you sure the hell not going to win it next year because tonight's show was the shits. And I was one of the stupid people that paid $50 because they oversold the fact that they were going to sign this big talent. And it's another WWE guy.
I mean, everyone expected to be a former. I mean, who would you have expected that could have been this signing not from WWE, not a former WWE guy, to be honest?
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. But I'm just saying, like you had said earlier in the show, or not you, it was Brian Alvarez from Figure 4. He said that they oversold the show and
yes.
underdelivered.
100%. I would 100% agree with that.
And then let's talk about I did a show on. I wanted to show the whatever it was, the 95 death match between Funk and Foley.
Right.
And they screwed that up. And I think tonight's death match, all those spots that Moxley and Omega took didn't mean a damn thing because the ring didn't blow up the way it was supposed to blow up.
I would agree that compared to previous matches like this, the exploding barbed wire death match, this one felt like they tried to do the quote-unquote safe version.
Yeah.
And that's what really took it down.
And what was the point? What was the point of having Bryce Remsburg dressed up in a hazmat suit? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it added to the effect of it.
That didn't make any sense to me either. I get it. It was they were trying to sell that as, oh, he's got to take as many precautions as he can to be as safe as possible. But these two wrestlers in the ring, Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley, have agreed to whatever happens to their body happens to their body, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted to call in because
not a problem.
I'm one of those stupid people that paid $50 because my Fire Stick took a shit, and I wanted to see a decent pay-per-view. And I'll tell you what, I'll be perfectly honest with you. When May comes around, I won't be paying $50 for that pay-per-view. I can tell you that.
Right.
But
with that, I want to say thank you for the call and have a great night.
Yeah. You too, man. Thanks.
All right, let's get to some of these text messages. This person says, Revolution was good. The only match I didn't like was the women's title match. Hey, everyone's into their own opinions. Other person says, how do you feel about Christian Cage? Well, I said it. I like Christian. I like Christian Cage. When I was in high school, he was my favorite guy, especially when he was in TNA. But the way they sold who was coming in, I think they overhyped it a little bit. But let's go to this caller.
Right.
Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hello?
Hello?
All right. This time I was watching the pay-per-view without paying, though.
Okay.
Like a lot of people did, because I feel like when something is overhyped, I feel like it's not going to present itself like I have seen throughout the WWE history. But this time I was not kind of disappointed that Christian came in or the barbed wire match, but only the end killed everything they did the whole time from the beginning till the end. But other than that, I believe like it was a good show. It was not something that was not a bad show. You know how usually a WWE show, like I believe the Hell in a Cell, it's like the Hell in a Cell is like the worst one. Now,
yeah.
But every other show in Hell in a Cell was like bad too. But this time, like all the matches, the Hangman Page, it was pretty good. But what do you think about the signing of Christian?
I want to say thank you for the call and have a great night. As far as the signing of Christian does go, like I said, I like Christian. I think him coming in, he can help some of the younger guys, but I don't want to see now what people are saying on Twitter. Oh my God, Christian's going to come in. Maybe he could challenge Kenny Omega for the title. Please no. That's like saying, is Sting going to challenge for the title? I doubt it. We don't know what Christian's capabilities are because he was in a Royal Rumble match a month and a half ago. So as far as knowing what he can do, we don't know. Maybe he can go out there and do anything. Maybe he's like Edge, cleared to do anything. We don't know, but I would not want to see him come out here and get an opportunity, a big opportunity to like challenge the champion or something, the world champion, over somebody else that's been in the company for the last 2 years and they've been pushing or something. Like I don't know who could be next for Kenny Omega. If the Moxley thing is truly over, maybe we get Kenny Omega and Eddie Kingston now. That would be a good one. But let's go to this next call. Caller, you're on the air. What do you think of tonight's AEW Revolution?
I thought it was a pretty good show. I just got one question. How long do you think before Hangman Page actually makes his jump to challenge for the title?
I think that could be something that they build him up over. I don't think he's ready right now, but if they build him up from now to the summer and maybe say at All Out, he becomes the guy that thinks he can stop Kenny Omega. Maybe All Out in August or whenever that show, August, September.
Yeah, I think that's a good one because I thought what he showed tonight was he has the capacity. Dark Order interfered, but I mean it was okay. He showed the capacity that he has the star power to contend, or at least in my opinion.
Oh yeah, we've known that forever because I mean he was in that first world title match against Jericho, and that match was amazing, and he did really well in building himself up as a actual feasible, believable contender. So we've seen already in AEW that people could believe in Hangman challenging for the world title. I just feel like after all the stuff they've done with him and Matt Hardy and the Dark Order stuff, I don't know where that's going to go next. But I think if they build him up over the summer as a big star, really trying to push his way up through the rankings, I think by All Out in August, September, he could be right there ready to go.
That's awesome, man. I'd love to see it. Thanks for the answer, man.
All right, thanks for the call and have a great night.
You too.
All right, this text message here says, what was wrong with JR tonight? Didn't sound good. It sounded like he was having a cold. Yeah, it sounded like he had like a sore throat or a cold or whatever. Like I said, he'll be fine. He even acknowledged it. He's like, folks, I don't sound good, but I'll be all right. First says, so SCU has done as a tag team since they lost tonight. No, commentary basically said that this shouldn't count for that. It's a battle royal with a bunch of different teams. It should only count in regular tag team matches. But let's take this call and see what this person has to say. Caller, you're on the air. What do you think of tonight's AEW Revolution?
Hey, Dean. What did you what the fuck kill me with the some other bubble mouse? It sucked.
Yes, it did suck.
Yeah, the kill one next for AEW Tim.
All right, I want to say thank you for the call and have a great night. I think I couldn't quite understand the caller. I think they said, why was this not a good night for AEW? But it just, nothing really connected well on this show, I felt. I don't know what went wrong. It's just a lot of things were underwhelming. But with that, next text message says, let's see. I feel like the main event was just really terrible. I thought the explosions were going to be better than that. I mean, based off of former matches of this type, the explosions should have been a lot better. But let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. What do you think of tonight's AEW Revolution?
I think it was the ending was, I thought it was great for me. I was surprised that Christian signed with AEW.
I mean, go for it.
What do you think?
I'm not 100% surprised. I really thought he would have went with WWE, especially seeing him in the Royal Rumble. Edge is back in WWE.
So
they can do stuff together. But like looking at it, he's been a guy that, yes, he's been loyal to WWE in the past, but we know he's not 100% loyal because he left before when he felt like they weren't doing anything with him. So maybe he showed up at the Rumble. They told him this is what we want to do. And maybe, I don't know anything, but maybe when they said these are the plans we have, He didn't vibe with it. He didn't like it.
Yeah, the match between Sting and Darby Allin I thought was great.
The tag team match, it was fun. I just wish they didn't have commentary.
Yeah. And then the match between Hangman and Matt Hardy, I thought that was great too. But the match between what was the main event?
Omega and
John
Moxley?
And yeah. Man, the ending of it when Kingston came out, that was a rough ending. And the explosion at the end, they didn't plan. That wasn't supposed to. That little sparkle wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be a big explosion.
Well, we don't know exactly what they planned. We don't know if maybe they hit the button and not all the pyro went off. But, I mean, the way it looked like that looked like what they had planned. Just little sparkles of explosion. I don't know. Maybe we'll get more information overnight on what happened. But it was just very odd the way that it was like a nothing kind of explosion. Like I said, Cody and the Young Bucks had more pyro in their entrance than any of the explosions in this match.
Yeah. What was going on with Cody? I know he got injured, but
it was just and I want to say thank you for the call. It was just with Cody. I believe it was just a storyline as far as, oh, Cody got hurt. The doctors don't want him to continue. But you know Cody Rhodes, he's that babyface that never gives up and always wants to keep fighting kind of thing. I bet that's all it was. This person in text message says, is Dark Order a babyface team? If so, I'd guess it's because of Brody's passing. And do you think they're trying to make Hangman the babyface leader? Yes, they're babyfaces now. Making him the leader, I think that's Evil Uno. But he's going to be a guy that they all like really, really admire. I think that's what his role is going to be. Somebody that they love, they help, but he's never going to be, quote, their leader. But somebody that they admire and look up to. I think Evil Uno is that leader. Let's take this call right here. Caller, you're on the air. What do you think tonight's AEW Revolution?
Okay, so the whole show was good. Up until the last part.
Okay.
Was the whole explosion was awful, but other than that, the whole show was good.
Okay.
And I think also for the tag team is the match of the for the Young Bucks and the Jericho.
Yes, that was a really good match too. I want to say thank you for the call and have a great night. I think the tag team title match and the street fight were the two best things on the show tonight. Also, Justin Black in the Twitch chat says, how do we call in live? Just call 510-906-1341. This text message says, do you think anyone in WWE can do that deadlift duplex or suplex move up the steps, Cesaro or Lashley? I mean, it depends on who. If you got someone like Darby Allin who weighs like $1.25, then maybe. Like if they're doing it like Spike Dudley or someone as small as Darby, yeah. But, I mean, Cesaro maybe, Lashley maybe. It all just depends on who they're doing it to. But let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. What do you think tonight's AEW Revolution?
Why they over this show and what under-delivered the textbook definition of what Jim.
Can you speak up? I can barely hear you. All right, and I think we lost that one. I couldn't hear him. It was cutting in and out. You can try to call back again. This text message here, we'll go a little bit longer. This text message here states, do you think fans of AEW might turn away from the company after tonight? Hardcore AEW fans, they'll never leave. Some fans may be now discouraged to believe in their hype. Now, when AEW first started, here's something I can tell you guys. So when AEW first started, Cody would always come out on social media and go, big announcement Monday, big announcement Monday, big announcement Monday. Everybody's going to want to tune in on social media. And then they'd be like, AEW is coming to Boston on March 3rd for Dynamite. And then Tony Khan would go, and this is exactly what I was told. Tony Khan eventually told Cody, quit hyping up all these announcements of where we're going for Dynamite, because that's only an announcement that's going to get a small group of fans happy. Everybody else is going to go, oh, you fucking hyped us up for nothing that serves us. And there was a couple other things I don't remember exactly that Cody overhyped and Tony Khan got mad about. And it was like, Cody did that every time. Announcement coming Monday. Announcement coming Monday. And they say, AEW is coming to Nashville. AEW is coming to Washington, D.C. AEW is coming to this place. And it was just like, eventually Tony Khan would tell Cody, quit hyping those up as like major announcements. They're cool announcements because people get to come to the shows live, but that's only going to serve a small group of the fan base, where the other 90% of the fan base is going to be like, fuck, you got me hyped for nothing that can serve me. So I think some fans may be turned off a little, but in the end, they got really loyal fans that I think will be fine. This person says, is Eddie Kingston and his family babyface now or just Eddie? I have no idea what the fuck that was supposed to be with Eddie Kingston. Person says, did you see what Moxley said after the match on Twitter? No, I did not. Let's go to fucking Twitter. On his Twitter account or the AEW Twitter account? Go to the AEW Twitter account first. So one of the guys at the show. Wait. We're going to play this. Why am I not getting audio? Okay, hold on. We're going to play. Okay, hold on. Let me switch my screen really fast, guys. Someone posted a video of Moxley after the match. I'm going to throw this over here. Throw this here. Throw this here. Transition here. We're going to play.
Kenny Omega may be a tough son of a bitch, but he can't make an exploding ring worth of shit.
That's great. That is great. He knew the fans were upset, so he wanted to send them home with a laugh. And that is Jon Moxley for you. He said, Kenny Omega might be a tough son of a bitch. Can't build an exploding ring worth of shit. I love it. That is amazing. Let's check out the last of these text messages. First says, what happened to Big Show on Netflix now that the name is no longer Big Show? Well, it don't matter because that show was canceled after one season. So Big Show, it don't fucking matter. No, I was going to speculate something, but I would have been wrong. First says, who do you expect on the surprise signing? What? We already know it's Christian Cage. That text message literally came in 2 minutes ago. Who do you expect on the surprise signing? And this last text message says, do you think we get ENC and AEW sometime? Me personally kind of hope not, because Edge to me has always felt like John Cena, loyal to WWE through and through. Well, here's the thing. Edge already turned down AEW once. In the frickin' fall of 2019, All Elite Wrestling made a play to get Edge. Edge told Vince. Vince said, I'll match it or give you, I'll at least match it if not give you more. Edge said, this is what they offered. Vince said, here's what I can do. And Edge went with WWE. So on that sentiment, Edge chose WWE over AEW. Now, granted, year and a half later, maybe he would feel different because now he sees where that company is gone and where they're at now. But in hindsight, he's already turned AEW down once. And, one last text message just rolled in. I hope we have a Queen of the Ring in WWE. I was just saying we hope we have Queen of the Ring. Well, it would be cool. get King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring. Anyways, with that, I want to say thank you guys for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling at the Hiccups Unlimited. With that, we will be live again tomorrow night right here talking about Monday Night Raw. Thank you guys for all your text messages. Thank you guys for calling in. If you guys want me to bring this back more regularly, we can do so for sure. When I don't have a co-host on the pay-per-view reviews, I'll do the calls 100% for sure. But if you guys also want me to bring those back for the weekly reviews, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, we can do those periodically as well. Just let me know if you guys want me to bring the calls back more often. So with that, have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow after Monday Night Raw. All right, if you're still watching,